Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be on the two new heroes that we just got. Hyun Woo, which is a legendary wood hero. That is an offensive hero, which I think we really needed, so this is cool. And then on top of that, we got a epic water hero, which is also an offensive hero, which I don't think we needed. But anyway, we're going to talk about him anyway. Hyun Woo can be acquired through the limited summons here. He's also with Garanol and Opal, which if you don't have these two heroes, I think this is a pretty nice banner to summon on, to be honest. If it were me, though, I would wait until next week for the summon event. So you can kind of double dip your points there if you're planning on summon there, because it will still be open, this banner. So do that. But if you don't have these heroes, I would say that they're very strong heroes, even if you don't get Hyun Woo. Garanol is absolutely fantastic for Arena. And I've even seen a team against the Fire Chaos Dungeon boss using Garanol because of her no positive effects on her basic ability. So that's that. And then Opal is absolutely fantastic for dungeon farming. And if you guys are having a hard time even unlocking the Rift of Chaos, Opal can probably get you there if you don't have her. So just wanted to mention that. So anyway, let's talk about these heroes. I'm just going to skim over Daphne because I don't think she's going to be extremely relevant to the meta right now. I do think that she has a pretty good kit. I just don't think I don't know where she would fit in. But Hyun Woo, I think, is going to make a difference. So let's talk about his kit here. So his trait, this forbidden spell, says crit rate is increased by 30%. So you only have to build him with 70% crit rate. Great start. It said the part of crit rate that exceeds 100% is converted into attack by a certain percentage. It does not tell you the percentage. Typical ace. But it is nice to know that if you go over your 70% crit rate, it is going to be converted into attack, so it's not lost stats. Pretty nice. It says, when attacking, if the target has no positive effects, it applies 1 stack of bleeding to the target for 2 rounds. I thought this was going to be irrelevant, but these little bleeding chips, from damage over time, seem to be pretty important on these Chaos Dungeon bosses. I think they made these kind of strong, so it's kind of cool, to be honest. And then it says, if the target has positive effects, it removes one of them instead. So you kind of get the best of both worlds in this trait, where he's going to be good against bosses with this bleeding. And then also, he's going to be relevant in PvP by removing positive effects. So he can gain this random stats up for 2 turns on each attack when he's ascended, which is pretty important to that Rift of Chaos Blue Water boss, considering if he does not have 2 buffs up, he ends up getting frozen at the start of, the turn. So it's a pretty good ascension, and it plays into his kit, which we'll talk about here. So on his basic ability, it deals 120% damage to one enemy and then applies a stack of bleeding. And then on top of that, it gains 1 rage. We haven't seen anything regarding rage yet, but it does apply to his ultimate ability, so we'll talk about that here in a second. But for a basic ability, granting the bleeding and then having a rage stack is not bad. So he does have a passive that says before taking area damage, gain 60% damage reduction, 60% bonus resistance, and it grants him a bonus attack for 1 turn, up to 1 time per round. So this bonus attack has only been seen once in the game so far from Florence. She's the only hero that has this, but what it says is basically whenever you use any kind of ability, if you have this bonus attack buff up, it will then immediately go into the basic ability. So if he gets hit by an AoE ability, he grants bonus attack, and then anytime he uses any of his abilities, he'll follow up with this basic ability, granting more bleeding and another rage. So pretty cool passive, gives him some tankiness against AoE, which is going to be good against that Chaos boss. and granting the bonus attack actually makes him do a solid amount of damage against the Chaos Boss, which I will show. Okay, and then his ultimate, Shadow Dance. It says consumes all rage, deals 200% damage to one enemy, applies increased damage taken 2 to them for 2 turns. So here's where you're seeing the rage, right? His ultimate's going to consume the rage, deal 200% damage, and put up a really nice debuff and increased damage taken 2. So what I've seen with the Chaos Bosses is you need to kill them fast. It's another gear check. You need to do enough DPS. You can't just bring in some kind of tank heroes and just stall out. It's not going to work. So, pretty good debuff. So let's continue here. It says, for each rage consumed, it increases the damage dealt by 35%. So at max rage, it's 4 rage. So that's an additional 140%, which is pretty strong. And then it additionally applies another stack of bleeding. And then it says at max rage, automatically launches a bonus attack with the ultimate. So pretty cool kit. I mean, his passive grants him this bonus attack. So you're going to be gaining rage fairly quickly, and I will show this. And then once you get enough rage, it automatically uses this ultimate ability, dealing a lot of damage. So Hyunwoo is really, really cool. I really like this hero. I think he's going to be fantastic for that Rift of Chaos, which I'm sure some people don't like, because needing a new hero to succeed in that dungeon is quite annoying. But it is what it is, I guess. So here are his stats. He's unbooked, unascended, right? He's got 4.6 attack. He's got 248% crit damage, a little over the crit rate, but as we saw from his trait, that 9.5% actually converts into attack, so pretty cool. I have his speed high enough to go before the Chaos Boss, because as I mentioned in my Chaos Dungeon video yesterday, you need to go before the boss. If you don't, you're just going to get one shot, and it's kind of annoying. And then he has a mild amount of focus to land those bleeds, which, as I mentioned, that little chip damage actually plays a pretty good part in being able to beat those Chaos Bosses. And I have him in Assassin set. And I also just noticed here that this warrior piece, he's in 5 pieces of Assassin, so this is poor planning on me. But I do have a nice attack percentage crest on him as well, and I can even put this defense tome on him, so let's do that. Okay. In regard to his glyphs, he gets 19 speed and even more crit rate, so you have to build him now only with like 62.5% crit rate on your gear, and he does get a little bit of focus, which is also cool. For his ascensions, he gets the attack up on the first ascend and then speed on the third, and then he's an A5, of course, because why not ace? And then on his physique, he gets crit damage and even more crit rate, so you can build this guy extremely strong in the crit damage department if he's fully booked. I'm sure he's a menace, so pretty cool stuff. Let's take him for a little ride here. In Arena, I'll say that, the one relevant thing, I won't show him in Arena, but I have already tested this. This removing a positive effect does require focus. So, it's going to be hard to build him, as an Arena champion in regards to putting up debuffs and depending on this increased damage taken. I think you're just going to have him in there as a nuker. I'm sure he's a viable green hero for Arena as a single target champion against someone like Jonathan or Hakrins or Nero's in the meta. But I do think this guy was built for this Rift of Chaos water boss. So prior to the team that I'm going to showcase here, I've been using a nuke strategy, which has been Shane, Rachel, and then it's been Florence, Zitlin, and then Antinua. So I just burst down the boss and kill him within like 2 or 3 turns. That's what I've had success with so far, but I have tested this team. I actually recorded a video before this and it froze on me. But this team can beat it as well because this Hyun Woo guy actually does a really nice amount of damage. So, yes, this is level 1, and I'm needing, an Ascend to Jocasta. I need Shane. I need Rachel. So I know a lot of people are looking at this team and like, oh, yeah, super free-to-play friendly, man. It's not, and I agree. This stuff is way too hard. It's way too specific with heroes, but there's nothing I can do. I'm just showcasing this hero, so don't get mad at me. So right now, we're going to give him some bonus damage. We're going to put the attack down 2 on the boss, along with that Law of Order ability from Shane. We're going to use Rachel here to give us some sustain, and then 2 additional buffs. And then here, we're just going to use the ultimate ability to put up the damage increased damage taken, and just see how much his ultimate does here. So pretty good. It went from 91 to 86. So pretty nice. And then he put up that bleed and then the increased damage taken. So as you saw here, he got hit by that AoE and his bonus attack buff from his passive came up. So anytime he uses his next ability, he'll follow up with his basic ability, which is going to grant him those rages that we were talking about, right? So it's going to definitely help in regards to his looping back around to his ultimate. So here, we're just going to basic, get the attack down, up. For some reason, I don't know what happens here, but this boss just gained health. I can't remember what's in his kit that does that. I don't know if that's a bug or what. Yeah, I don't know. But it's odd to me that he heals up. Unless somebody is seeing something. I don't know if that's a bug or whatnot, but we don't need that in our life with how hard this boss is already. So here's the basic, and because he had that bonus attack, you saw he did the basic again. So as you see here, he has half of his rage full. So at 4 rage, he's actually going to be doing his ultimate again. And of course, he got hit by this AoE, so he has the bonus attack again, which is really, really good. So we're just trying to keep our Jocasta alive here so we can keep, smacking him down. Obviously, Shane is a huge help as well, just giving us more additional damage. All right, so I'm going to slow this down. So remember, on his basic, he gains that 1 rage, and he has the bonus attack up from his passive, right? So he'll do his basic automatically again, and even though his ultimate is on a 2-turn cooldown, he's going to go right into it, consume that rage, right, and deal an additional 140% damage on his ultimate. So you'll see this is going to hit really hard. And again, he's in suboptimal gear, not booked, not ascended. So here he goes, putting up those bleeds, and then right into the ultimate. Huge damage. Really, really cool hero. Really impressed with this guy. So, we're just going to keep chugging away. But this team, we're putting up the buffs, invincible. I like to loop back around to Jocasta to give her some bonus turns and stuff like that, so she can loop back around to her ultimate ability so I don't die from the bombs. But you see, we're kind of in the same position here with his bonus attacks, like his A1, putting up the bleeds, little chip damage, and looping back around to his ultimate. It's really, really awesome for this boss, and I'm sure, this hero is going to be, like, really key. into progressing further in this dungeon. At least from what I see. Like, I'm going to need this hero. So, attack down. We're close to getting him here. And again, he keeps healing. I don't know what that is. So here, we're just going to bonus attack, and then go right into the ultimate again. And it just, big damage. Putting up the increased damage taken. All good things right now. All good things. So here, because his rage is empty, I'm going to use his ultimate. And then he'll still bonus attack with the basic and grant himself 1 rage. So, pretty neat. He puts the bomb up. We're back to Jocasta. Remove it with her ultimate here. And then bonus attack. And he's already at 3 rage again. Very nice. So sadly, he does have the freeze up, but thankfully we have Yolanda here to remove that from him. And then we're just gonna basic, and then ultimate again. So really close to winning here. If he doesn't one-shot the Jocasta, which he didn't. Ooh, it was close though, right? Okay. Yeah, that was really close. We still might die just because Jocasta... she actually put up the buff from Yolanda there, the guard, so that's good. So this should be a clear. Put up those abilities here. Bonus attack, and then next turn, our boy here is going to probably take him out, especially along with the Rachel here to clear a whopping stage 1 of the Rift of Chaos boss. It's so good we have these really strong characters to help us beat stage 1 of the new content, but there you go. Yeah, he does plenty of damage, and look at that. We don't even get a new artifact. That's amazing. So that's Hyunwoo, really, really strong for this Rift of Chaos. He's going to be good in PvP as well, just because he can do really big damage, to the water bosses. Water heroes like Nero and whatnot. And then just a quick Daphne overview. So she also gets that crit rate increase, like the legendary. And then it says critical strikes against fire heroes deal 3% of their max health and true damage, but if she's ascended, it goes up to 5%. So it's a pretty cool trait. She has a basic ability that has a 100% chance of doing defense down. Also nice. She has a passive that whenever she receives a negative effect, she launches a counterattack with this ability that deals 150% damage and removes a negative effect, while also reducing the ultimate ability cooldown. Also nice. I will say, though, that this passive works just like Rosalie's passive, where the passive triggers the special ability. This is important because it's worded just like Rosalie, where it says removes 1 negative effect. This does not count towards stun or freeze, because in order to activate the special ability, she can't be controlled, as the Ace developers have told me. So she will not remove stun or freeze, but all of the other negative effects she will. And then loop back around to her ultimate ability, which deals 200% damage to an enemy and then applies attack up and heal over time to all team members. So each time she gets a negative effect on her, she reduces the cooldown of this from 4 to 3 and so on and so forth. So I think she should be built as a bruiser. I have her in attack right now because I was testing her on the Rift bosses and she's not viable there. At least right now. I thought she would She might be good in the water boss if people didn't have Rachel. And that might be the case, but I think she's going to need books in Ascension, which is super annoying. But it is what it is. This is kind of how I ever built. Again, I had the speed up there in order for her to go before the bosses. But I don't think it's worth showing her right now. Her abilities are pretty straightforward. Like I said, that negative effect triggering this special is going to remove the negative effect unless it's freeze or stun. But looping back around to the ultimate to put on those, heal over times along with the attack up for the entire team is pretty nice for an epic hero. And then the true damage, 5% health, max health is, could be viable in Ash Magisteria dungeons and things like that. So pretty interesting hero. Not a bad epic at all, but I think there are other heroes within the water element that just do things better than her. You have Jonathan, which is a better support hero. You have Bocce or Hori, which are better damage dealers. So not bad, but I just don't think she's going to fit in any role. So that's the video, guys. I'm wrapping it up here. I think this Hyun Wu guy is really, really good for the new Rift of Chaos dungeon, and he's definitely a solid hero for PvP. So really nice addition to the game. And that's all I got for you. So I'll check you on the next one. See ya.